In this question he is saying to find integration minus infinity to infinity e power minus t into del dash of t into dt. Here this equation is in the concept of x of t d power n into dt power n into del of t, which we can write it as minus 1 whole power n dn by dt power n into x of t into dt. Same concept is used here. Integration is minus infinity to infinity, minus 1 whole power n is 1 d by dt e power minus t into del of t into dt. This is an important formula. Here it is written as integration minus infinity to infinity e power minus t into delta t minus 0 into dt, where we will substitute t is equals to 0 and you will get answer as 1. In this question he is saying to find x of minus 2n plus 3. First shift the sample, then scale that and then reverse. Shifting, if it is given as n x of n plus 3, left shift by 3, so 1 2 3 units. This is n is equals to 0. Now scaling, x of 2n plus 3. 2n means decimation. Decimation means there will be removal of some samples. So take only even values of n, that is n is equals to 0, n is equals to 2, n is equals to 4. They are 1 1 minus 4, and then last reverse it. Take the mirror image of these samples. Minus 4 1 1, this is 0, this is plus 1, this is plus 2. In this question he has given as x of n is equals to 1 minus summation k is equals to 4 to infinity del of n minus k minus 1. So here you substitute k is equals to 4 from del of n minus k minus 5. You will get it as del of n minus 5, n minus 6, n minus 7 and so on. And this is the DC term. Now you have to subtract this impulse values from this DC term. 1 represents that its amplitude is 1 at all values of n, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 so on, and minus 1, minus 5 so on. Now second, you have to subtract these from these. N is equals to 5, n is equals to 6, n is equals to 7. You have to subtract these values from this, so you will get constant values of 1 at n less than or equal to 4. Mathematically we can write it as x of n is equals to 1 for all n less than or equal to 4. We can represent in unit step form as u of minus n plus 4. By comparing it with mn minus n naught, you will get it as n naught as minus 4 and m as minus 1. Next question, he has given x of n and he is saying to find summation n is equals to minus infinity to plus infinity x of even conjugate and odd conjugate. You can say it as x of even conjugate as symmetric function, x of odd conjugate as antisymmetric function. Even conjugate you can retain it as x of n plus x of conjugate of minus n by 2. Odd conjugate you can write it as x of n minus x conjugate of minus n divided by 2. But by using summation of x of n plus x of summation x conjugate of minus n by 2, directly we can write as real values of this x of n. Here the real values are minus 4, 1 and 4. So do summation of these all numbers, you will get answer as 1, which is the even conjugate. And similarly, if you have to find the summation of odd conjugate, take the imaginary parts of this x of n, you will get it as minus j3. In this question, he is saying to find the energy of x of t, where x of t is given as minus 3 triangle t minus 4. So here we can draw x of t. It is minus 3 from this is minus 4 and this is time period g. See here, anytime if there is triangle t by t, you can say this width will be 2 times the time period. Here the width is 4, so we can write it as 4 2 times it is 8. Now he is asking to find the energy. Energy equation we can write it as minus infinity to infinity x of t whole square into dt. This is x of t. Here observe carefully, energy we can write it as 2 times integration 0, this is plus 4, 0 to 4 0 to 4 x of t whole square. So here this equation you can write it as, this is time period, minus 3 by 4t. Now substitute those values. Here you can write it as 2 integration 0 to 4 minus 3 by 4t whole square. You can write it as 2 times 9 by 16 into t square becomes integration of t square is t cube by 3 whole power 4 to 0. Now you can write it as 2 times 9 by 16 into 3, 4 4s are 16, 16 4s are 64. Here you can write as 16 4s are 64. This goes 3 times. So you will get answer as 25 joules. Here the concept is energy we can find by calculating half of the triangle area and making it twice times. In this question he is asking to find energy of a signal x of t is equals to r of t plus 2 minus r of t plus 1 minus r of t minus 1 plus r of t minus 2. The following equation can be drawn as like this. At minus 2 the ramp is increasing and here slope is 0 and here slope decreases. In this graph you can find this is one triangle and this is second triangle. So here he is asking to find x of t, energy of a signal. Okay, energy can be written as minus infinity to infinity x of t whole square into dt, right? Here he has given 2 triangles and 1 rectangle. You can use the trick by drawing or by shifting this triangle to the right side. So you will get it as like this. And this amplitude is 1 and this amplitude is 1 and this is 1. This is the time period. Okay, this you will get it as slope, you will get it as t. Now energy can be written as integration 0 to minus 1 t square into dt yeah, 2 times. You have to take 2 times because the triangles are same, plus integration is from -1 to 1, -1 to 1, where x of t is 1 into dt. You will get it as 2 times, sorry, this is +1, this is +1, yeah, t cube by 3, limits are from 0 to 1, plus this is t, where the limits are 1 minus 1. So you will get it as 2 times 1 by 3, yeah, which is equals to 2 by 3. In this problem I have done some calculation mistakes. This is 2 plus, you will get it as 2, you will get it as 8 by 3 joules. Here you have 1 plus 1, you will get 2, 8 by 3 joules time. In this question he is saying to find the time period of x of t, which is given as mod of sin t plus cos t. Usually we know that time period of cos t, here omega is 1. So time period formula is 2 pi by omega, 2 pi by 1, which is 2 pi. But time period of sin t is pi. For convenience, remember it as full wave rectifier, where the overall time period is pi. So mod of sin t can be remembered as full wave rectifier with the time period of pi. So overall time period, take the LCM of pi and 2 pi, you will get it answer as 2 pi. In this problem he is asking to find the RMS value of 2 sin t plus 4 cos t minus 60. Here you can write it as 2 sin t, sin, you convert it into 4 cos t minus 60 into sin by sin of t plus 30 degrees. So sin of cos of theta plus 90, we can write it as sin theta. So I have written as cos of t plus 90 minus 60, you will get it as cos of sin of t plus 60. Here you will get sin and here sin. So now RMS value is under root 2 by root 2 whole square plus 4 by root 2 whole square plus 2a is root 2, b is 2 root 2 cos 30. This is under root, you will get it as 4 by 2 as 4 by 2 as 2, 16 by 2 as 8 plus 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, cos 30 is root 3 by 2. By calculating this value, you will get the answer as 4.114. In this question, he has given y of n is equals to 2 into x of n plus 1 plus 3 into x of n minus x into n of n minus 1. Here n plus 1 represents the output depends upon the future values. N minus 1 represents the output depends upon past values. If a output depends upon the present, past and future values, then the system is non-causal. Then talking about the stability, for stability conditions, for every bounded input it must have bounded output, that represents the stability. Here bounded input x of n, it must be less than or equal to m. Here y of n is less than or equal to 2m plus 3m minus m, 5m, which is a finite value. So for finite input we have got finite output which is bounded, and this is another condition to know the stability of a system. Integration limits are from minus infinity to plus infinity. H of t into dt, if it have finite value, then we can say the system is stable. Here we can write dy by dt is equals to x of t. Y of t is equals to integration minus infinity to infinity x of t into dt. Suppose if x of t is equals to u of t, then integration of x of t is equals to integration of u of t, which will give ramp function which is unbound. So it is unstable. In this, H1 and H2 are in parallel connection. Overall response you will get it as H1 of n plus H2 of n. In this, H1 of n is non-linear and H2 of n is linear. So overall response for parallel connection you will get it as non-linear. Now talking about the causality, H1 of n is causal is 0 for all n less than 0, given it as causal, and H2 of n does not is equals to 0 for all n less than or equal to 0. This is non-causal. So now you will get overall response as H1 of n plus H2 of n. This is causal and this is non-causal. So overall response will be does not is equals to 0 for all n less than or equal to 0. So this will be non-causal. Now talking about the stability, summation n is equals to minus infinity to infinity H1 of n is not does not is equals to finite, then overall system H of n will be unstable. In this question, he is saying to find whether the system is time variant or time invariant. For understanding, we see here y of t is equals to sine into x of t. It is time invariant. If the inside the coefficient is multiplied by 2, it is time variant. Here you take this 2 tau as k. When you differentiate this, d tau is equals to dk by 2. Here the limits you will get as minus infinity to 2t. Here coefficient is multiplied by 2. If any system, any integration t is multiplied with any other number other than 1, then it is time variant. In this question, he has given y of n is equals to x of n minus 3. He is saying whether this input, this system is invertible or non-invertible. Now let us take y of 3, which is equals to x of 3 into x of 0. If in any case, if x of 0 is 0, then y of 3 is absolutely 0. So x of 3 cannot be written back. So y of 3 is equals to 0. So it is non-invertible. So we cannot recover x of 3. Why? Because y of 3 is 0, which is not recoverable. That's why the system is non-invertible. By seeing the input, if by seeing the input we can say the output, or we can recover the output, or by seeing the output we can recover the input, then the system is invertible. If we cannot recover the input, then the system is not invertible. In this question, he is saying to find e power minus t into u of t convolution of u of t plus 5. We can write this as integration of minus infinity to infinity e power minus t minus tau u of t minus tau convolve with u of t plus 5. Here tau is less than t and tau t greater than minus 5. Now you can write it as integration minus 5 to t e power minus t minus tau into d tau. You can write it as e power minus t integration minus 5 to t e power tau into d tau. Now integrate this term. So e power minus t, e power t integration is e power t upper limit minus e power minus 5. You will get the answer as 1 minus e power 5 into u of t plus 5. In this question, Fourier series coefficient of x of t is ck. Fourier series coefficient of x of 0.5t plus x of t minus 0.5 plus x conjugate of minus 2t. First we can talk about x of 0.5t. By scaling, Fourier series coefficient remains same. Now we have to do time shifting. By time shifting, we can write it as ck e power minus j n omega naught into 0.5. Now we can talk about x conjugate of minus 2t. Here x of 2t, you will get same ck. X of minus 2t, you will get Fourier series coefficient of x or c of minus k. Here he is asking x conjugate of minus 2t, you will get Fourier series coefficient minus of minus k, which is c of k. By linearity, Fourier series coefficient of whole term is Fourier series coefficient is ck plus ck into e power minus j n omega naught into 0.5 this is c conjugate plus c conjugate of k. Now by taking ck common, 1 plus e power minus j n omega naught into 0.5 plus ck conjugate. This is the final answer. So by time scaling, Fourier series coefficient remains same. In this problem, he is saying to find Hilbert transform of x of t, which is given as 1 by pi t. This is the important statement. If we want to find any Hilbert transform of x of t, do convolution with 1 by pi t. Here already x of t is 1 by pi t, so I have written it as 1 by pi t convolved with 1 by pi t. According to the Fourier transform, signum t we can write it as 2 by j omega. If we replace this omega by t, we will replace this t by minus omega and we will multiply with 2 pi. So you will get it as 2 pi of signum of minus omega. By doing this, you will get 1 by pi t is minus j into signum of omega. But here we want 1 by pi t convolved with 1 by pi t. In time domain, there is a convolution. In frequency domain, there will be a multiplication. So you will get whole square. So minus of j square is minus 1. So overall you will get it as minus 1. Inverse Fourier transform of minus 1 is minus del of